Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to do a really quick one here today. Tears of the Kingdom is finally upon us, and as a big Zelda fan and a fan of Breath of the Wild, I can't get enough of it. It is amazing and phenomenal. I am absolutely enthralled with it. I do intend to make more content around this game, and if you've been keeping up with the channel, or if you browse the channel, you'll notice that I have been uploading stream VODs, but I wanted to make this video real quick in order to kind of give just a little bit of a tutorial of sorts, or a kind of a guide of sorts, when it comes to the weapon system in this game. I will make more content, more produced content, but this is going to be a quick overview. I turned off all of my other stuff, so I'm going to try to keep that as spoiler-free as possible, but there will be a couple of minor spoilers. I'm going to show you weapons and a bow, most likely, and I will show you, well, you kind of got spoiled that there's what the symbol for that slot is, if you haven't found that either. But I will try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but weapon parts and enemies that you might not have seen yet. We are going to go into a cave. Here, I won't show you on the map, you can probably see it down there, but this is a cave that is next to a tower. I won't tell you which tower, so you can find it for yourself. But essentially, the weapon system in this game, one of the most contentious parts of Breath of the Wild was durability, and weapons basically being so easy to break. And then weapons being pretty cool because, you know, some of the weapons are really awesome. Like there's flame swords and ice swords that are really cool and you kind of want to keep around. They offer a lot of utility and such, but your inventory is small, especially early on, and you don't want to break them. And so you find yourself in a situation where you're using like 2 or 3 weapons. I will be showing, my inventory does have some Zonaite weapons that I've crafted, so that's probably the biggest spoiler there, is like Zonaite weaponry, and we will be talking about that in a minute. But essentially, what I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a guide on is your weapons are actually so much more versatile in this game, as well as they're also very much kind of infinite in a way. So what I mean by that is essentially if you jump into the inventory here, you'll know that I have like a bunch of stuff, right? So I got some durability up and all of that. We have a little magic scepter that I haven't done anything yet with. That's something you'll find. So some minor weapon spoilers. I tried to keep it as spoiler free as possible. I took off all of my armor so you couldn't even see like any of that. And then up here we have some Zonaite weapons. But essentially, as you can see here, this is a weapon that I crafted myself. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to throw this rock here. Hopefully it doesn't despawn. I kind of just want to showcase this system. And this is probably one of my favorite systems in the game. I highly recommend that you take advantage of this. This is going to be really awesome. You might see a couple of enemy parts here, but this is, you could view or sort your inventory by fuse attack power. And this is where you're going to get a lot of really cool things. You can also gain extra effects. So if the weapon, or if you killed an elemental enemy and they gave you an elemental part, then that will give you elemental effects. And so you can kind of see up here, I have blue Lizalfos horn. So similar to Breath of the Wild, as you progress through the game, the colors of the enemies increase, and so do your weapons. I essentially have a complete inventory of weapons. Like all of these monster parts here is essentially like 40 to 50 weapons at my discretion. I can pick and choose when I want to use them and all of that. And it is really awesome. And I wanted to bring you guys here, so you can obviously fuse these with anything you see in the ground. So I'm going to sneak into this cave here. And a lot of these cave systems will have claymores and rusty weaponry lying around. And that way you can fuse hammers and stuff so that you can mine. One of the other really cool things, no longer do you have to wait at the stables or go to a stable and hope that they have a mining hammer for you. That was kind of one of the more annoying things with Breath of the Wild. And obviously you can bomb all of this stuff in Breath of the Wild, but then it like scatters all of the pieces everywhere, and that's just kind of annoying. So now you can just craft your own mining axes and hammers, or mining picks and hammers, by getting boulders that are in most of these caves and these swords that are scattered throughout. But what I came here for is because there's a new enemy in the game, so I'm going to show you a new enemy exclusive to Tears of the Kingdom that isn't in Breath of the Wild, and they exclusively, from what I've seen so far, reside in cave systems, and that is these guys up here. So you can see these like monkey guys are kind of. That guy just threw a boulder at himself. That's adorable. Oh, I got hit. Oh, I don't have a bow. Get my Boko bow. So I do want to shoot them. These are a little tricky to kind of kill without having a bow equipped. So we're gonna go ahead and equip a bow. Get smacked in the face with a boulder. So this one seems to be. There we go. Get him out of the way. So he has just a claymore, but this guy over here, you'll notice. That's what I want right here. And this guy's he gonna leave me alone? Oh, there's only 2 of them. So of course you can pick up their stuff. But these guys often have these wooden weapons. And these wooden weapons often have extra durability. I guess they didn't drop it. So a lot of times when you're seeing these enemies, they will have weapons that are called sturdy sticks. And I think I might have one. Yeah, so you can see this one is a sturdy stick. So I fused this one and crafted this one already. So it is a sturdy long stick and a Lizalfo's horn. And the sturdy sticks are more commonly found in these caves with these enemies. The sturdy sticks are very useful. I highly recommend that you pick them up. And then, of course, like I said, we now have a stick, a spear. You'll see that in all kinds of different. You'll see it in all kinds of different fashions. You can see a sword, a long sword, and a spear, a variant of these sturdy weapons. And if you're looking for really strong, durable items to fuse your powerful monster parts onto, this is probably the best way to do that. Go check out the caves. Go check out the caves and fight these enemies. A lot of times they will have sturdy weapons. Now, if you're fighting enemies in the cave and they already have weapons fused, so let's say that this guy was, had a stronger weapon and it was just these 2 sticks fused together, well, you can easily go into your weapons, click on the one that you want, and hit destroy fused material. It'll get rid of whatever they randomly had fused onto their weapon and give you the sturdy stick back. Again, not the greatest not the greatest display purposes here. I probably should have made sure that the cave actually had sturdy weapons, but here's a regular long stick as another example, and you can see that we are going to take it from 2 power, and we are going to equip a really powerful a monster part to it. So like I said, this is all fused. You could sort this by fused attack power, and you can see here we have a lot of parts. So let's see, Bokoblin horn, if you want to just have 88 weapons, basically. Like, this is 88 weapons at your disposal, so you could do all kinds of stuff like that. And then this is blue Bokoblin, 47 weapons at my disposal. So let's go up here to a slightly stronger one. You can see a blue Bokoblin horn, and this is something that we have 11 power that we can add to this. And of course, as you get better, as you upgrade, the colors of the enemies, they will start getting more and more powerful, and you can farm for diamonds, you can farm for all kinds of just powerful stuff. And so this is how you should be thinking about your weapons in this game. So I'll go ahead, hold out this weapon, drop it, fuse it up, and look at that. We have a 9 powered weapon. This is an early game cave, so we're gonna get early game parts later in the game. Of course, once you start uncovering more powerful enemies, you'll get more powerful parts to make more powerful gear. As you can already see, I have a pretty strong, sturdy weapon here, and it actually came with more durability as a yellow benefactor too. So really cool really cool like system and feature. that I wanted to kind of showcase for you guys and give you like a little tip on how to start getting a lot of really powerful weapons. These cave systems are really great to find the weapons and find the pieces or components to your weapon. Of course, as you progress, you'll get stronger and more versatile core or like kind of pieces to the weapon. So instead of fusing stuff to sticks, you can fuse stuff to, Zonaite parts and whatnot. So that's something that you'll see as you progress through the game, but definitely make sure you're taking extreme advantage of this new fusing system. You're essentially crafting your own weapons. It's super fun and it's super cool. I really like this feature so much. It is so much fun to experiment with and just like randomly, create your own weapons. So like, and if you have like a sword, so this is a improved sneak strike sword, and you can see that like the weapon part or the monster part, excuse me, has replaced the blade of the sword. So the more that you see these kind of swords lying around, the more that you see these like little traveler's claymores. So like for example, the traveler's claymore is actually we're going to get rid of this. The Traveler's Claymore is already 6 attack power, so you can easily fuse a monster part to this and get yourself a 25, 30-ish powerful weapon. And then, like I mentioned, as always, the more you progress through the game, the stronger parts and pieces that you'll be coming across. So this game is a lot better when it comes to the weapon durability system. They managed to kind of, in my opinion, for the most part, I'm going to take my hammer back because this was what I had here at the start. I had a durability up, so I definitely want this back. But yeah, make sure you're taking advantage of this. You don't have to just fuse with stuff lying around. The monster parts are your weapons. Whenever you pick up pieces from these different monsters, make sure you're, using them to your advantage. Using them to make and craft your own very powerful weapons. And then you can make sure you can wait until you find a really good base component before you put the powerful monster parts on it. That's something that I did with the Zonaite weapon. So here's a little minor spoiler for Zonaite stuff. By the way, I've already completed one of the major stories areas, and so that's where I found most of this. So a little spoiler here, but if you notice, so there's Zonaite stuff, or Zonaites. I keep saying Zonaite. Zonaite stuff. So this is basically, if you played Breath of the Wild, these are very similar to the Guardian weapons. You can see they have that cool blue effect there, and they're pretty powerful in their own right. But they have this extra capability of being, it resonates with attached Zonai devices to increase some of its attack power. So basically, let's say, so you can see here, I have 15 from the strong longsword and 18 from the horn, and that gives me 33. But the 3, I think it was about 3. So if I go into the I think it's this one, Soldier Construct, so it's 18 fuse attack power, and then this one it's only 10, right? So it's 10 plus 18 is 28, but instead of doing that, it gives me a little bit more. And that, it depends on the type of weapon. And you can see I have some really powerful Zonaite stuff. So if you pick up a Zonaite weapon, do not immediately fuse it. Wait until you find some of the Zonaite components from like these strong enemies. These are really, really powerful gear that you can craft in a very quick fashion. A lot of the shrines that have a lot of the combat focused shrines will have Zonaites, enemies in them, and a lot of times they will potentially give you they will give you these Zonaite swords as rewards. So if you're finding a lot of these, hold on to them and use them to craft your later weapons. And that's one of the really cool things. Like I haven't found where to turn in my Korok seeds. I don't know where Hetsu is. He's in this game again apparently, and so my inventory is still at its starting starting base size. But it's been surprisingly capable. When a weapon breaks or when something happens, like I have easily accessible weapons at all times thanks to this new fuse mechanic. All of my weapons are essentially here in my monster parts menu. So I highly recommend that you look through this, make sure you're taking advantage of it. If you see an elemental one as well, so like I have this elemental electric key swing, I can fuse that to something and make it electric an electric weapon. You could do all kinds of stuff with that. So I highly recommend you experiment with this. It's a lot more versatile than it seems at first. I've seen a lot of people, they just kind of fuse what's lying around. You have an entire inventory of potentially very powerful weapons. So I highly recommend you taking advantage of that. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, of course, like down below. If you have any tips for other people looking at this video about their weapons and the fusing system, definitely leave them in the comments. Let me know some, tips for myself even. The game is still new, so I'm still learning. I know there's a lot of versatility with the new systems in play, so I'm definitely looking forward to experimenting with them, figuring them out, and all of that such. So, without further ado, that's going to wrap up today's video. I'll potentially make some more, guide videos like this, but I wanted to make a really short one. I say short, it's like 15 minutes, but I wanted to make a short, video discussing some of these, and to give you a little bit of advice on on how you can find some pretty easily creatable weapons. These caves, like I mentioned, have these enemies, and like I said throughout the video, I highly recommend when you look through these caves and you see these enemies, take their durable sticks, take their strong and sturdy stick weapons, and make some powerful gear with them, because they will last you quite a while with their extra durability. So yeah, that's going, like I said, okay, enough rambling on here. That is going to wrap up the video. Like down below, subscribe for more content. I will be making some more Zelda. I will be releasing more VODs from my stream if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And I will eventually be making a more produced video discussing the game and my thoughts and my review of it, essentially. So if any of that interests you, please like and all that and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.